So, welcome, friends. Today's topic is about understanding color. In this topic, we'll see the use of those colors. Okay, so let's begin. This is red, rather crimson red, yellow, and this is a mix of Prussian blue and cobalt blue, which happens to be the middle tone. Uh, it's very near to that ultramarine blue. Okay, so presently in my palette, I don't have ultramarine blue, so I have mixed middle tone of Prussian blue and cobalt blue. Okay. So then by mixing red and yellow, we get orange. By mixing blue and yellow, you get green. And then by mixing red and blue, you get violet. Now it becomes a tint. So here we'll add yellow. This is as per the color wheel, which I'll cover it subsequently. So it becomes light orange. Same way when I add yellow to green, it becomes light green. And the procedure of addition of color should be the lighter color first, that is yellow, and then to that you add green. So accordingly you'll get a range of greens. Okay. Next is light violet. Here yeah, light violet means it does not mean that you should add white to it. It's adding red to it. Okay, so that gives light violet. Okay. Similarly, when in orange we add a little bit of crimson, red, that time you'll get a darker orange color. It almost comes to geranium. Okay, next is dark green. Here we add blue, that is this mix. Here it is dark violet, again this mix. We add two violet. Okay, so we get dark violet here. And here, like how do they get mixed, and what color, subsequent color we get, rather the resultant color we get here. Okay, that is red and yellow. So you get a nice orange. You'll find a range of orange color, like here it is very light, and say this is the middle tone, and this is much more darker. Next is yellow and green. So again, when we add to yellow, or rather we start adding blue to it. Okay. Next is red plus violet. Uh, Rather red. Now my next topic is about complementary colors. Complementary colors basically means that say this is the color wheel, and in the color wheel you'll find this complementary color, like just the opposite of red is green, then like this is the one, where then orange and blue. So this is orange, this is orange, and so these are called the complementary colors. So by mixing this to complementaries, we can darken each of the color. Like say suppose if I have to darken crimson, instead of adding black, which becomes the shade. Like suppose this is the shade. Okay, and this is when we add white, we get a tint of the color. Okay, now, and this is special watercolors, that you have to be very careful that when you have to lighten any color, or say a hue, or say a primary color, you should add water to it rather than adding white. Okay. So now if you see when we mix crimson, red and green, you'll find that there is a nice brown developing here. Okay, or when it approaches green, there's much green color. We see when we mix orange and blue, you'll get when you approach blue a little greenish, greenish color, which is much very darker. When we approach brown, you'll get much brownish color, or rather we approach again. You'll see why this thing happens is because This is like mixing of three primaries. That violet has a red and blue, and then yellow. When we mix, you'll find the graying effect taking place here. Okay, so it is a very good practice that when I have to say painting these colors. Okay, so when we have to paint, you say I can take say a flat brush, a medium size like this, or say maybe a round tip brush like this. By any of them, that shouldn't be much of a problem when you're doing the very basic watercolors. A little bit of water and there's crimson. So crimson red, which is actually a cool red. Okay, so when I have to paint, like say suppose if I using this is a wrong way of painting. Okay, because see here we'll keep dragging the color from one end to the other end. Okay, so you will not see that we'll get a very uniform color like this. Okay, so I'll write a cross mark here so you understand this. Okay, so the correct method of painting is hold the brush like there's a tripod grip is there. Okay, there's a tripod grip. Okay, and then I go very smoothly like this. Okay, and I just pull the color down. Okay, little bit down. Okay, and then keep painting this way. Okay, so I get a very nice smooth tone of color like this. So you keep pulling like this, very gradually. Okay. And then I can keep adding color to it. So if it is not dark enough, okay, I'll put some more color in the second tone. Here I can say put from the half. Okay, so to see the difference in the color. Okay, which is not there in that basic palette which I have shown. Okay, and say I'll paint the whole thing. So this is how we go about gradually darkening of the color. Right there. Yeah, and then only the third part here. So I can add some more color to darken it. And so here if you see in watercolors to darken this color, I just kept adding more color. Actually, if it dries a little bit, then you can lay the color like this. See, if you see again, I have not disturbed the texture of the paper. The color very hard. It's like the brush should glide on the paper, soft and nice. Okay, so now from here, and then you will find that such a nice soft color is developing. Okay. So it has to dry a little bit. You'll find a little difference between when we paint with a round tip brush. I always prefer a more, let me clean the brush a little bit. Okay. And then if you see, okay, I'm holding the brush like this and see a smooth color which will get developed on the paper. Okay. So this is very important when you are painting. Okay, there should not be rough edges, rough marks. Okay, it should be uh, very smooth color development. Then again the same procedure. I paint the half of it again here. So here I'm just darkening it a little bit, and then the half portion I can color it. So if you see between the flat brush and the round tip, so you see, and here now it's already a grade of color which is developing. Okay, you don't find a line formation sort of thing. Okay, there maybe you'll have to blend with a smaller brush. Here also we can do blending of the edges, but then if you are able to obtain it directly, that is the best thing which can happen. Okay, now I can add some more color. Say to the third part. And so when I'm adding this color to it, you'll find not added any, say to darken it, say a black or hue. Okay, so crimson is here. Maybe I can, the other colors again, you have to paint it as per this palette which I have shown you people. And I think now with this method, you should be able to paint one, two, three, all of them very easily. Okay. And say again, while mixing color is what I want to, you have to be very, very particular is that say when mixing two colors, you should take the lighter color first, okay, and then the darker color. Okay, so suppose yeah, for orange, if I have to mix, I'll take a yellow first, split the color a little bit. See, like here, you must have seen that the red component has gone a little bit more. So see that when we have to paint, you see we paint nice orange. If you see the way I'm painting, it's like just gliding the brush on. Okay, in this, and I take thick yellow, very thick. We'll find the tone of the color much stronger. You see between the two here, the water content is much lesser. So that's why you have got a darker color. But that does not mean that to obtain a dark orange, you can lessen the water content. It is should be by addition of red also, the crimson. These are basically called as hues. Hues are a mix of any two primaries. If I add water, so I'll get color. It is see here the both the components are much or rather more towards the redder side. Okay, that is say dark orange or we can call it as geranium also. Okay. Now I hope you people have understood how do we use a brush to paint. Okay. Again, I'll show you both the two things that when we are using the brush, okay, both the flat and the rounded brush. So you have to not use a brush thing. You do it like this. See, again, I can press the flat brush. This. Okay, just pull the color a little bit down. Press it. See, so you'll find that you are covering the area also like this. You'll always see because what happens is the paper it absorbs the color very fast and then it gets retained like it goes it gets settled down there and you'll find a little bit of line formation here and there. There was a little bit of a red color in the brush, so that's why maybe it's not painting a true red, true yellow color. But then you'll find much smoother color. Okay, so here there is no dragging of color like okay here it is. So now next is say same thing when I'm you can see that again it's like a flat brush holding in this direction. So when I'm painting, see I get so nice. Oh no, beautiful. Very thin and nice. Pretty crimson with me. I'll take a little bit of green, a sap green color, which happens to be the complementary color, which we'll do in the color wheel exercise. That time you'll understand it more clearly as to why. Now again, the question here is which color you should take first, and then which color will be the second. So again, here the thumb rule is like when we are taking a lighter color first and then adding darker color to it. Here the thumb rule is I will add a cool color. I'll take a cool color first and then add warm color to it. And say here green is a neutral color. Okay. So then rather the greens, browns, they go into that neutral category to some extent. Okay, so I'll first take this green because it has blue in this. So when you have to say create some darker sap greens, like say suppose you try to darken sap green, I'll not add black or here we are seeing that so that they don't fight with each other and they give you a nice result. Okay, now these are all colors of say when you have to paint foliage in landscapes and so on. A very nice, warm, not warm, a very nice muted green. So how does a normal green look like is what I'll paint here. See the difference between the two. You'll see how they look. Right there. So I think with this, you all people should be able to finish when you have to do your mixing of colors. Right. So thank you very much for watching. I will cover the color wheel topic separately. Thank you.